We think of them as these living jewels, delicate, harmless, these beautiful symbols of summer. But what if all that beauty is just a disguise? Today, we're opening a case file on the butterfly, and we're about to uncover a secret life that is so dark and so resourceful, it's going to challenge everything you thought you knew.
So I want you to ask yourself this. What if the butterfly, the absolute symbol of gentle transformation, is actually leading a secret double life? What if all that elegance is just a cover for something much more visceral and, well, frankly, pretty unsettling? Let's follow the evidence. Yeah, this is the image we all know and love, right? The idyllic scene, a butterfly just gracefully dancing through a meadow, sipping nectar. It's the picture you see on greeting cards. It's the star of nature documentaries. It's a whole perception built on this idea of pure innocence. But, as we're about to see, that is only half the story.
And this is the other half. Necrophagy, the consumption of the dead. It's a cold, clinical word that couldn't be more different from that sunny meadow, and believe me, it is absolutely central to understanding what a butterfly truly craves.
Just look at this. Here are the two worlds of the butterfly, laid out side by side. On the left, you've got the public diet, the one we all know. Nectar, pollen, a little tree sap. But on the right, that's the secret menu. Animal dung, rotting carrion, blood, even sweat and tears. And these aren't just, occasional snacks. For a lot of species, this stuff is absolutely essential for survival.
So our investigation begins with the first piece of evidence. It's a behavior that scientists call puddling, and trust me, it's far less charming than it sounds. This is really the first thread we pull that makes the butterfly's pristine image start to completely unravel.
And here's the central mystery. You've probably seen this. A bunch of butterflies all gathered together on wet mud or animal droppings, even puddles of urine. And if you ever looked closely, you might notice something weird. It's almost always the males. So why on earth are they risking their lives for something so foul?
The motive, it turns out, is just pure nutritional desperation. See, floral nectar is basically sugar water. It's great for quick energy, for fueling flight, but it is terribly deficient in all the vital minerals and proteins needed for the serious business of life, especially making babies. So you have to think of mud and dung as the butterfly's version of a gritty back-alley supplement shop.
And this isn't just random feeding. Oh no, it's a calculated hunt. Butterflies actually show a clear preference for the dung of carnivores. The reason is simple. It can have up to 14 times more sodium than herbivore dung. They are ruthlessly efficient miners, targeting the richest possible source of the minerals they're starving for.
Okay, so this thirst for nutrients doesn't stop with waste products. The trail of evidence now leads us to something, far more macabre. We are now entering the realm of the scavenger, where butterflies become key players in the actual process of decay.
This quote, and this is straight from forensic research, is just chillingly precise. While you might think of flies as being first on the scene of a dead body, butterflies are not far behind. They show up as the body bloats and starts to break down, and they use that delicate proboscis to sip the nutrient-rich fluid seeping out of the carcass. They are, in a very real sense, forensic evidence with wings.
And to see just how extreme this behavior can get, just compare these two lifestyles. On the left, there's our familiar meadow pollinator, but on the right, you have the purple emperor. This magnificent creature spends its life way up in the forest canopy and almost never visits flowers. Its diet is aphid honeydew, tree sap, and, when it comes down to the forest floor, rotting carcasses and animal dung. It is a true specialist of the macabre.
Our investigation now takes an even more personal turn. We've seen them feed on the dead and their waste, but some species have evolved to feed on the living, becoming something that is much, much closer to a parasite.
This is Lachryphagy, or tear feeding. And yes, it is exactly what it sounds like. Butterflies and moths will actually land on a living animal and use their proboscis to drink the tears right out of its eyes. It's a form of what's called ocular parasitism, literally stealing vital salts and proteins from an unsuspecting host. And the range of hosts is just remarkable. In the Amazon, you can see butterflies calmly sitting on the heads of caimans and turtles drinking their tears. Moths have been seen feeding on the eyes of sleeping birds and even bull moose in North America. And yes, in some parts of the world, they will absolutely land on people to drink their sweat and, if they can get them, their tears. This behavior also makes them potential carriers for nasty things like eyeworm parasites.
And here we reach the final and maybe the most shocking dietary habit of all, hematophagy, blood feeding. Some species, specifically in the moth genus Calyptra, have absolutely earned their name, vampire moths.
So how in the world does a moth become a vampire? Well, the evolutionary pathway is just fascinating. It all started with an adaptation for piercing the tough skins of fruit. But that strong, barbed proboscis, which was perfect for getting a juice, turned out to be what scientists call a pre-adaptation. The tool was already there. From there, it was a pretty small evolutionary leap to just repurpose it for drilling through the skin of a mammal to drink its blood.
So we've seen the what, a really shocking collection of pretty grisly behaviors. But now we get to the most important question in any investigation, the motive. Why do they do all this? The answer lies in the intense, incredible pressure of reproduction.
Now remember, all this stuff, the puddling, the scavenging, even the tear drinking, it's dominated by males. They are the ones taking the biggest risks, putting themselves in danger. There has to be an enormous evolutionary payoff to justify this kind of behavior. And boy, is there ever.
Here's the crucial point, the twist in the story. None of this is for him. Everything they gather, all the sodium from the dung, the nitrogen from the carrion, it's all for her. During mating, the male transfers a package called a spermatophore. Sure, it contains sperm, but it is also loaded with these scavenged nutrients. It is his nuptial gift.
And just to understand the sheer scale of this investment, get this. In some species, a single male will transfer nearly a third, 32%, of his body's entire sodium content to the female in one go. He is literally giving her the essential minerals that he risked his life to find.
And this gift is not symbolic. It directly fuels the next generation. The nutrients from the male allow the female to produce more eggs, and those eggs have a much higher chance of survival. His dark foraging, his thirst for filth, directly translates into evolutionary success for them both. It is a brutal, but you have to admit, an undeniably effective strategy. Which brings us right back to our central question. Are they beautiful pollinators or resourceful parasites? The answer, of course, is that the butterfly isn't one or the other. It's both. It's a delicate pollinator floating on the breeze, and it's a ruthless scavenger that feasts on the dead. It's a reminder that in nature, survival, not our sentiment, is the ultimate driving force, and sometimes beauty is the most effective disguise of all.